Well, the midterm elections are just a few months away. Can you believe it? And both parties are looking to earn the support of voters before heading to the polls this fall. And with the current political climate, it just seems at times nearly impossible to mend the divide between peoples, even dividing families, right? Causing some relationships to just fracture. But one Indianapolis family is showing the country that that doesn't always have to be the case. Nick and Nathan Roberts are 25-year-old identical twins who stand on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Nick is a Democrat. Wave at us, Nick. A member of the Indianapolis City Council. And then Nathan, you can wave at us now. You identify as a MAGA Republican. You're the co-founder of Save Heritage Indiana. You're also a field representative for Turning Point Action. And despite your differences, you still get along. So we want to find out all your secrets. Welcome to the show, Nick and Nathan Roberts. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I want to hear first, I mean, you're so young, too. I want to hear more about how you guys got involved in politics. Nick, I'll start with you.
Sure. So my really origin story started with the 2016 election. I was not a fan of Donald Trump. And the day after he won his election I got involved in the Democratic Party. I'd really just worked my way up day after day. I started volunteering campaigns, started running campaigns, and then eventually I decided to run for office myself on the Indianapolis City Council. I won my election and been in office about 2 years now. Love it every single day. Local government is really my passion. It's a great way of making a difference. And, you know, it's just been really a gradual uphill climb. And obviously I've gotten the chance to work with national politics, and it's been really great.
Yeah, I'm seeing pictures of you with Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg. Nathan, how about you? Tell us your political story. How'd you get into it?
Yeah, so I've always been political since 2016. The moment Trump came down the golden escalator, I fell in love. I was political on that very day, but I didn't start getting super involved until really like last year. I started a nonprofit, Save Heritage Indiana. It's a single issue group focused on ending illegal immigration in Indiana, my state. And then a month ago, I was hired by Turning Point to improve the quality of the Republican Party in a state like Indiana.
Okay.
And it's really been a whirlwind. I was in training a month ago in Arizona at Turning Point headquarters, and now I moved across the state to work on campaigns. So it's really awesome.
Okay, so what are your dinner table discussions like? Do you try to keep politics off the table, literally and figuratively, or can you have a nice, friendly debate and keep things calm, cool, and collected? Nathan, I'll let you go. I'll let you go, okay. Nathan, first, since you got to answer second last time. Nathan, you go.
Thank you. I'm always used to being second in these things because you were born first. It's like a lifelong insecurity I have.
Were you born second as well?
No, honestly, if it's me, yeah, I know. It's always Nick and Nate. It's never Nate and Nick or Nathan and Nick. So whatever. But if it's me and Nick together, we talk about politics all the time. We have a great conversation about it and never gets heated. But when it comes to family, 10 years ago when I was in high school, I was such a pot stirrer. But I've kind of learned, even though that's fun to do, it's not the best for kind of harmonious relationships. So me and Nick generally don't talk about politics much around family anymore.
All right. Nick, how about you? How do you make sure that you know, you keep your relationship at the center of all this, even though you're leaders in opposing political parties?
I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that we're both very opinionated, and we know that we're not going to be able to change each other's minds at the dinner table. Obviously, there are some things that we can make good points on, but it's not like having conversation is worth losing a relationship over. Yeah. And I think a lot of people just can't control themselves when they're trying to get in an argument. They can't help themselves from trying to make gotcha points, make quick, accusations the other person. So I just find it's best to just let cooler heads prevail. Just be kind to each other. We'll talk one-on-one about things, but I think especially in a group setting, when there are 5, 10 people around, it's really never worth bringing up politics.
Yeah, well, you know what? We're going to have to bring you guys back at Thanksgiving because a lot of people end up not getting invited back to Thanksgiving. They're like the black sheep in their family if they go, rogue compared to the other family members. So we'll have to have you back to help everybody find common ground then as well. When it comes to Gen Z, which you guys are both in Gen Z, 56% currently lean or vote independent. Nathan, I'll start with you. Why do you think your generation leans toward the middle rather than picking a specific political party?
Well, I think that the biggest reason for that is because the establishments of both the Republican and Democratic parties to be nice, are totally out of touch with regular people that lean on each side, but especially younger people, because we didn't kind of grow up with that. We're in a situation where it's very difficult to get housing, employment, all that stuff. So both sides are kind of seen as totally out of touch on that. And I don't know if you're going to ask Nick about kind of why we think it's a mistake for people to be independent, but I would just say, if you want to get involved in stuff, there's the Republicans and there's the Democrats. I speak at so many Republican things, Nick speaks at so many Democratic things, and that's kind of all there is. So I respect people that identify as independents, but if you want to get involved, you kind of need to pick a side.
All right, Nick, what do you think? Why do you think your generation, so many want to be an independent?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there are a lot of people that are very cynical about politics. I think it's easier for people to just throw their hands up and say, you know what, both parties suck. I'm just going to be an independent. But if you actually want to get involved, I think it's really important. And also, I think it's worth mentioning on there that even though 56% of people are independents, a lot of those, I think Gen Z, I've seen surveys seeing that even though a lot of them are independents, they're the most ideological generation. Whether, if they're Republicans, a lot of them are the most right-wing Republicans. And then if they're kind of more liberal, they're more left-wing. So I don't see it more so as being in the middle. And I say this as somebody who consider myself a moderate Democrat in many ways. I think a lot of people that, are younger, and maybe as they get older, their politics will more so get in the middle and more mature.
Sure.
And to be more ideological in both directions.
Well, look, we don't have much time left, but I want
There's
you
no
both
such
to weigh
thing as a
in.
moderate Democrat, Nick.
All right, here it goes, coming to blows. I'm glad I'm standing between the two of you right now. Quickly, before we go, I want to hear just a quick beat on how both of you feel about this war right now. We know it's not very popular right now in this country, our military action taken in Iran, and it's particularly not popular with younger generations or Gen Z. So, Nick, I'll start with you, and then Nathan, you can take it home. Nick?
Sure. Well, I'm not a fan. I think a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because he promised that he was going to focus on the economy and be America first, but he's breaking every single one of his campaign promises right now. With the war in Iran, I mean, there's tweet after tweet after tweet saying they would never do this. And from what I'm seeing, they're just resorting to it because, whether it's for political reasons or because they feel like they can't deal with it diplomatically, we're going to lose a lot of American lives and a lot of American jobs and a lot of prices are going up in America because of this war. And he didn't seem to have a plan to how to actually stabilize the region. So I'm not a fan so far.
Nathan, how about you?
I do not want a boots on the ground war. I do not want Iraq 2.0. I do not want Afghanistan 2.0. I don't think people in my generation want that. And I have faith in the Trump administration that they've gathered the best and the brightest to make sure this war ends very rapidly, just like Venezuela. And I think that's what will end up happening because nobody wants to have a long, prolonged $1 trillion war that will destabilize the whole region.
All right, Nick and Nathan Roberts, twins on opposite sides of the aisle, helping all of us find common ground. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.